Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Breakfast with Blaha, and today I'm having fat-free Greek yogurt, pecans, and almond butter. Alright, let's talk about body weight exercises, barbell, dumbbell. And when I make this statement, I need to say it front, because when I discuss these tools, a lot of people with a low level of thinking, low level of critical thinking will say things like, well, since you said it doesn't matter, when, again, such a thing is never implied, never said, obviously not even my opinion. Let's make it clear. It does matter which one you use. Now, that being said, do individual muscles in your body, when we are training to get hypertrophy, which again is how we build strength, they don't care how they get the resistance. They only care about getting resistance, if that makes sense. And in other words, it doesn't matter in that regard. Muscle doesn't care. Muscles know how much tension they're subjected to, how many muscle fibers they have to recruit in order to achieve the desired force for the amount of reps and things they need to do it. All they know is resistance. Now, that being said, of course, and people say, well, what about cables also? Well, that could change your resistance curve. A lot of times, really cheap cables are clunky. A lot of times, cables actually affect your strength curves, and it's sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. So even then, it's not always just resistance. But that aside, let's look at these. People get this idea in their head that one of these is better than the other. The worst ones are the calisthenic people, and I'm sorry, you have to be very, very ignorant to somehow think that calisthenics movements, body weight exercises, produce superior hypertrophy for some magical reason, or a better training tool than barbells or dumbbells. They're just not. They're all good training tools. They're training tools I use, but we shouldn't limit ourselves, right? And there are schools of thought and certain groups on the different directions. In other words, I've noticed some really serious starting strength advocates believe that the barbell is the only way. Not a big barbell exercise, it doesn't matter. And I get where they're coming from, right? Because if we're trying to get real strong in general and on classic lifts, but in strong in general, the barbell needs to be a primary tool, right? It needs to be. We can move the biggest weights, generally. Now, some people will say dips are okay, guys, but none of you guys are doing 500-600 pounds on your dips. All right, which is what you should be squatting and deadlifting if you want to get really big and really strong. Okay, so don't even go there. The point is, barbell movements are where a lot of your real brute strength is going to be built. Okay, it's going to be. So I get where those people are coming from. They aren't entirely wrong. However, the moment you start disregarding the other tools as if they're not extremely valuable and cannot bring a lot to the table, you've now become dogmatic to the point of stupidity and to the point where it's going to hurt your gains. Same thing with the bodyweight people. A lot of bodyweight exercises are phenomenal. How many of them you see me guys do? I do hanging leg raises. Again, I guess some people call them toe to bars or whatever. I get my feet all the way to the top. Try to touch the rack. I do dips. I do chin-ups. I do variations of the pull-up. I do glute ham raises. Right? These are all calisthenic movements, and you know what? They are all amazing movements. They're phenomenal movements. However, people get this idea that you're going to build a lot more muscle and strength somehow doing this. And it's like, well, because, it's just something about moving your body through space. Well, really, your body doesn't weigh that much. It's not fucking impressive. Let's just be honest here. being able to do a few reps of some stuff with your moving your body through space, particularly you guys who aren't even big, doesn't mean anything. So how is that impressive? It's stupid. Because that's not that strong. I mean, I get it. Maybe if you're my sort of body weight and you're cranking out 50 chin-ups or dips or whatever in a single workout like I do, okay, that's a decent display of, I guess not really strength stamina. All right. But even then, it's not, from a strength perspective, that's not as impressive as my big barbell lifts. It just isn't. But it's still great training, and I like doing it, and I think it brings a lot to the table. But again, these guys who weigh 160 pounds, dude, I'm sorry, you weigh 160 pounds, 20 chin-ups just isn't that impressive. It's just not. It's not that strong. You're not moving much weight. I mean, it's okay. Not bad. But it's not some magical ultimate training tool, because we're coming back to the point of tension and weight matter, and you're just really not doing that much weight. Now, they're still great exercises, but you see the point here. The guys who act like there's something magical about their body weight, well, I don't know, man. You better start bulking pretty hard if you want that body weight to count for anything, and then you might get fatter than you want to be. So it just doesn't make sense. It's just silly. Not based on anything. They're good exercises. And we come over to the dumbbell thing. A lot of bodybuilders, dumbbells are the way. Dumbbells have a lot of benefits. I like dumbbells. I've invested quite a bit of money in dumbbells. Dumbbells are great hypertrophy tools, mainly because they allow a certain amount of freedom of movement, right? That's great for preventing overuse, or reducing it at least, getting more complete hypertrophy. Yeah, dumbbells can bring a lot to the table. I like dumbbells, but they're not inherently better than the other two. And when, again, you'll see some bodybuilding circles, dumbbells are best. Not always. A lot of times the research shows that for a lot of the muscles you're doing dumbbells with, maybe for that one muscle, they're better tools in the other two categories. Dumbbells still bring a lot to the table for hypertrophy. They're a damn good tool. But you know what? All three of them are. All three of them are. And here's what I would say to people. Don't be dogmatic about it. Look at each individual exercise. Look at what your goals are. Look at what you are trying to accomplish. And use the best tools. Right? Look through these and use the best tools. And you might find, in some cases throughout different training phases, that your best option is to actually use all three. As is the case often with my own training. Right? The best choice might be to use all of them. Not necessarily for every muscle. Some muscle groups and things don't necessarily need that. Some can really benefit from it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.